Hello, my fellow African kings and queens. This is Jacqueline here with another Grow video to inspire you, give you motivation, help you to reach your greatness, AA excellence. Okay, I really like to get off into the topic of relationships and marriages because I am so rooting for our African American families, which when we root for our African American families, we are rooting for our African American communities. We are rooting for our communities to stand up, to rise up, as we will. We are in a very turbulent political environment. We are in a turbulent environment as it relates to the United States as a whole, as a country as a whole, as a people. We're all reckoning. We're all reckoning. Just think of this right now. We're all reckoning with what happened in the past. We're all reckoning with our present state. And we're all reckoning with what is going to happen in the future. What I predict is going to happen in the future is we are headed into a dictatorship. But I predict that it's going to be okay. Go with me here. I predict that we're headed into a dictatorship, and it should not surprise anyone because there's the system of checks and balances did not check and balance. The system of checks and balances relied upon a system of trust and faith. And just like when evil permeates into our lives, the system of checks and balances that we have, we tend to divvy away from that. We tend to get away from God's plan. That's the system of checks and balances that we have in our life. And so the system of checks and balances failed the United States government. It failed because little by little we were able to chip away at democracy until finally we're at the election. Will there be an election, and will the election count is the question now. Will the current occupant of the White House remove himself from the White House? So now we're back to our lives. So we have the system of checks and balances in our life, which was God. Little by little, we chipped away at the system of checks and balances that God had in plan in store for our lives until we see ourselves in a place like a fork in the road. Just as this election coming up, we're at a fork in the road. What's going to happen? What are we going to do? How do we get out of this? So what we need to do as we chipped away at our system of checks and balances in our life is to get back on God's plan. Let's get back on God's plan so that our system of checks and balances that we're dealing with will come out with us being the kings and queens that God has aspired us to be, and not the rebels that we have deemed ourselves to be. And when you're a rebel, you're in a battle for your life. You're in a battle for your very soul because you don't want to become a tormented soul. And I spoke about tormented souls before. Tormented souls, they're never at rest. They're never at peace. I don't know if you ever encountered any type of ghosts or spirits, but those are tormented souls, just never at peace, just a torment. And that's how some of us are in life. So now, as we go into this dictatorship and the president that we have now, you have to be careful about what you listen to and what you feed into your mind and your spirit, because I was so hung up on, and I know this the coronavirus is really, really bad. And for those who have lost loved ones, it's touched my family as well. I truly am sorry, and my condolences to you. It is a horrible thing. Our president failed at the coronavirus. He failed. We should have been warned. We should have been prepared. We should have worn masks early and saved lives. Had we known, we should follow the science. That's what scientists are for. That's why they study. That's why they go to school to study, to learn, and become scientists so they can tell us things that we don't know and point things out. Hey, look, this is why this is this. You know, Science is important in our daily lives. Data, information, that is important to know. It is important as a people to know, not for one person to determine what you need to know that is important for your family's life. Yes, he failed. And because of that, I don't believe that he is competent to serve as president because of that very reason. Now I'm going to get on something else. I want you to be careful about what information you take in as far as this one-sided news. Make sure you get your sources from a lot of different places, because if you don't, you will believe one thing about a person and never ever find out that anything else was true. I just want to say that, just make sure that you are well informed when you make your choice this November. Don't go with just because, or the status quo. Make a well informed choice, because in reality, no one died for your right to vote. They died in the process of fighting for the right to vote, but they did not die for the right to vote. They died in the fight for freedom. They died in the fight for justice. This country has the blood of African American citizens stained on that flag. Those red stripes are our blood that we have shed. That's what those red stripes stand for. This United States Constitution, when it was written, was not written for us. It was not written with us in mind. We need a United States Constitution that represents the people as a whole, as a unit, as a collective unit, as a collective government. Because that Constitution deems us as only 3/5 of a human being. So I don't want you to all get all wrapped up in, oh my God, it's the democracy is going, we're going into a dictatorship. Oh, it's going to be so horrible. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you have God on your side, it doesn't matter what anybody in government does. It doesn't matter what anybody says, because no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And God says, leave my anointed alone. Do my prophet no harm. So if you are walking right, I walk right in the lake of fire, because I know that my God has me. You see what I'm saying? I don't walk in fear. I don't live in fear. God gives us a sense of power, and that sense of power is our mind. That's our sense of power. So when someone says, well, you need to do this because of this, make sure that you find out, is that really true? Even the things that I tell you, if you have a question about it, make sure you find out that it's true. Because, I never ever is my intent to ever get on here and say anything that I truly do not believe. But I'm not perfect. But I make sure that I am well informed before I start talking. I make sure that I pray and meditate and get my answers. And speaking on that, on ancestral spirits, if you are a person who is of the ability to able to pray and to communicate with ancestral spirits, the good spirits, that is a gift. And the gift of prophecy, the gift that God gives you, those are gifts that you use in glory to God. You don't use those gifts as a means of fun, of impressing your friends or antics, because then you begin to delve off into a world that you don't want to get into. So, all gifts should be used to the glory of God. All gifts and all things, you know, let every breath have praise God, the creator, Allah, whatever name you fit, that you choose to call him. To me, he's always been God. I love Allah, I love Jehovah, I love Almighty, all the omnipotent. I love all of those names, so those are fine. Whatever you're comfortable with calling God, you know then that's what you call him. So I wanted to give you some encouraging words on today, and let you, please, because I'm gonna tell you something. I was so stressed out. That's why I was getting on early. I was so stressed out about, they had me so stressed about this coronavirus that I almost, I was just so stressed out. I was too scared to breathe. um you got to be careful of how you allow the media to put in your mind, and then they're starting on this race war. They're saying it done started, the race war done started, and I got in on it. I was scared, and I told I didn't want my husband to go to work. I was scared that the Klan was waiting on him outside. That's how the media will have you if you let them. So you need to be careful about what you put in your spirit, in your body, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your marriage, in your children, in your daily life. So just be mindful of that. So, I just want to give you some encouraging words again. And I hope and as far as the videos, thank you for your support, your encouragement. Also, if you would like more information about the Grow Program, it's Jacqueline at growprogram.org. We go on a self-improvement journey. We start in the mind, we start with the body, how you eat, how you think, a different way of thinking about your marriage, a different way of thinking about yourself, a different way of thinking about your children, your life, your relationships with your outside family members. That's all what grow is. Grow means greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. We use wisdom, and the wisdom of our mind that God empowered us with. So we think about how the slaves got through. They got through with their mind. This is greatness, through their mind. So God bless you on today. May God carry you. You be safe, and let's grow. Please like, share, and subscribe. Till the next video, be blessed.